Polling is easily the most underutilized mechanic in pubs. I'm here today to discuss the 3 main times you should pull. When this video is finished, you will learn the optimal way to pull in each laning situation. Let's get started. The first example is when you are in an unwinnable lane. When you're in an unwinnable lane that you can't harass or typically trade CS with, it's best to single pull to get your carry farm. It's also acceptable to double pull, but you might not always have time for this. In either case, it will give them a free wave to at least get XP under your tower, and then if it is a single pull, will double the next wave, so you can contest them. In this game, my PA is against a Coddle and a Doom, 2 heroes that will zone her out of lane with magic or damage. I have assessed that I can't zone the Doom out, and my treants will die to Coddle Blast, so my best option, as you can see here, is to pull the camp. I have doubled it, so I won't have to pull through, but it is most important that I pull here so that my PA can get a wave under her tower. As you will see, now the other heroes are dragged over to me and not able to contest her nearly as hard. But even though they are diving her, I can protect her. You might be like, well, this puts her in a pretty terrible situation. But in reality, they could do the same thing to her if the wave was just static. In this case, they get denied some XP at the least, and then the next wave is farther towards our tower, securing PA a slightly better lane. The next example is if you are in a winning lane. If you're crushing the offlaner and have more creeps, or if you want XP as a support, then you want to pull. A common situation that will arise is that a winning safe lane will kill the offlaner but draw creep aggro, therefore pushing the lane and negating the benefits of the kill, as the offlaner will now get creeps under his tower. So a good rule of thumb is that if you get a kill in a winning lane, then the first thing you should do is pull, as killing the offlaner twice is typically unlikely. So in this game, me and my friend Save are in a winning lane. We have Batrider against Timbersaw, and I was doing well. The lane was starting to push, and because it is a winning lane, it is still favorable, even though we could potentially kill the Timbersaw, to pull. As now, the Timbersaw, if he wants to get XP, will either have to come over and put himself in a dangerous position, or just lose a creep wave altogether. So in this game, you'll notice the Timbersaw decides to contest. He puts himself in a very dangerous position, and as a result, me and Save can run him down. This is a great example of why when you're in winning lanes, it's still super beneficial to pull. Simply because we forced him over, we get another kill on him. In this upcoming case, the lane is pushing in. You'll notice I have a level advantage on the Timber. We're doing very well in this lane. So what you also can do is side pull like this. This is another great way to get off a pull if you're a little bit late. And it gets Tusk a little bit of XP, right? He gets a free big creep. In this upcoming example, the lane was pushing in, and we didn't know where the Timber was. So it is a great time for Save to pull, as even though we could dive the Timber under tower, this is really nice to get the Tusk some XP, and we can't actually take the tower, we don't have heroes to do that. So there's not a lot of better options for the Tusk here besides potentially roaming, but this will get him a nice XP advantage, as well as potentially deny Timber if he was to come back to the lane. The next situation is if you're in an even lane. If you're in an even lane and your safe lane can hold the lane on his own without dying, then pulling will gain your lane an overall XP advantage as you get XP from neutrals and deny from the enemy. In these lanes, I would recommend trying to stack the small camp first, as pulling through will feed a large camp to the enemy or just get intercepted. In this game, I was troll, and therefore I could hold off the Legion Tusk lane alone, but we couldn't kill them with the lane far up. So my Oracle here pulls to create an XP advantage. Once again here, the lane is even, but we can't easily kill the Legion, so instead, my Oracle pulls to deny creeps. If you look at the creep score, I'm pulling ahead, as I now have an XP advantage, and many creeps have died to pulls. In games like this, it might not seem necessary to pull, but it's not about the necessity, it's more about the advantages that come out of it. Now let's go into some pulling tips. So the first tip I'm going to give is about stacking the small camp. This is actually one of the most important things in my opinion in pulling, if you can get it off, because stacking the small camp is optimal in almost every situation if you have the time to do it. It allows you to avoid pulling through, maintain safe positioning by the tower, and guarantees you 2 pulls in a row if desired. This will often limit your deaths when pulling, and gain you a lot more XP as you're going to be killing a lot of these small neutral camps. The next tip is that I recommend you try dewarding the pull camp before the 1 minute mark. It's very easy to do that now, as it only takes 1 ward to deward the entire camp, as you can see here. It's very simple, so as long as you place it in the right spot, you can make sure you get the pull off at 1 minute. As you can see, it works on both sides. You just have to be very careful to check all the hidden spots. Practice pulling and stacking the different small camps in a lobby, as both ranged and melee heroes, as it can be much harder as a melee hero, especially the pull through. Finally, communicate when you want pulls if you're the hard carry by saying no more than, "This lane is hard, can you pull?" or "The lane is pushing, may you pull?" These simple statements will actually work, unlike how most carries present the command. If you're the support, always tell the carry if you should play passive because you're pulling. If you don't, they will often die and get super mad at you for leaving them. If you're losing your safe lane and you feel like there's nothing you can do about it, pulling is often the answer to all your problems. If you enjoyed the video or learned anything about Dota at all, please like and subscribe to help our channel grow.